Hi, I'm Tim Bartz, Internet Sales Manager here at McArthur Ford in Salina, Kansas, where you can find the most in-depth walk-around videos on the different Ford and Lincoln vehicles, make, model, trim videos. So we're pretty popular with those. We call them our complete guides. In this video, we're going to talk about the productivity screen. So we have this series going. We've talked about the 2.3, and now in this video, we're going to talk about the single 4.2-inch productivity screen that you find in a lot of your different Ford vehicles, a lot of your base model vehicles, especially your Edge lineup, Edge SE, what this vehicle is here. And so we're going to go through this productivity screen step by step, show you what different settings are in here, what's available for you. And so I think you'll really like this. Do look in the description down below if you're watching this on YouTube. I'll have all the vehicles that have this screen in there. And if you know you have this single 4.2-inch productivity screen, this would be a great video for you to watch and learn a little bit of information exactly what everything means on the different settings for this screen. So we're going to take a look at this 4.2-inch productivity screen, and this is a screen, like I said earlier, that's going to be, you're going to see on a lot of your base model vehicles. Now there is a 2.3 that you might see in like Fiestas and maybe your Fusion S and some things like that. This screen here, there's a couple different options. You have a single 4.2 and you have a dual 4.2 screen. We're going to be doing a separate video, and typically if you see the dual screens, that means you have probably the Sync 3 screen. If you have the smaller 4.2-inch center stack screen, you probably have the 4.2 here in the middle of your speedometer and tach. So you know if your vehicle has this screen, so hopefully yours does, and this video is going to be very helpful for you. And again, I am going to list down below the different vehicles that you can see this on all your Ford vehicles. So really nice being able to see this screen here. So let's go through this. The first thing we want to talk about is that you're going to be able to control everything in that screen with this D-pad here on the left side of your steering wheel. So right at your fingertips while you're driving makes it real nice and easy to use. So we'll use that. We'll use the OK button to confirm things or to push through the different things. Now let's start at the top with the Trip 1. Now you can press OK and it's going to go ahead and go into whatever would be to the right, or you can push the right arrow and get to that. So you're going to see here, now I did choose this Edge for a reason. There is something that's standard on only 3 vehicles for 2019. The Copilot 360, that is going to be standard equipment on all of your Edges, Rangers, as well as your Fusions. So I wanted to be able to show you that, because there's some things in here that allow you to see what's available. Doesn't mean your vehicle will have some of these functionalities, but I do want to make sure the vehicle has at least most of them that I can find there. So the first thing when we look at this Trip 1, you're going to see squares to the right side of that center screen there, and that shows you how many different levels as you go down you are before you go back up to the top. So it's real nice and easy to be able to see that. So first thing you're going to see for this trip, now there's a Trip 1 and Trip 2, and that allows you to be able to reset these if you want to. And maybe for this trip I'm taking a trip from Salina, Kansas to St. Louis, Missouri or something, and I want to see how my vehicle functions or performs on my trip. So you can reset it and then know how it does. Speed, miles per hour there. Then if you move down, you have distance to empty. So it's you can make this your display at all times right here too. So when you're going, you can see what your distance to empty is for that trip. And then you can see the trip odometer. So that's how many miles were traveled with this trip. And this has never been reset. So you can see it's pretty much the same as your odometer down there. And then as you keep going down, you see the trip timer. And you're going to see that timer is moving right now, even though I have the vehicle started. Even when you hit the accessory, it's going to be moving. So as long as you have the vehicle turned on, that's going to be moving that timer for that trip. Move down, and you're going to see the average fuel for that trip as well. So in this case, it's been averaging 9.1. Probably most of it's off the truck as well as in through service around the lot here. So we've been going, of course, real slow speed and everything. That's probably why that miles per gallon is so low there. And then if we move down, you're going to see that all in a quadrant format. So you can make this your display as well. So now there is a Trip 1 and a Trip 2. I'm not going to go through the Trip 2 because it looks the same, but for a second trip. Now for you to be able to reset this, you just have to make sure you're in one of these trip settings here, whether it be trip odometer or trip timer. Press and hold the OK button, and that will reset that timer there pretty easily there. So you can see that done for you on the screen. Now let's go ahead and go back to menu and go down to fuel economy. And if we move right or hit that OK button, it's going to go to the fuel economy. We're at the top here. You have distance to empty again here. So if you want this more of your display instead of your trip 1 or 2, then you can have that showing up there. Move down, you have instant fuel economy. What's great about this is as you're driving, whether it be in town, on the highway, you can see how your fuel economy is going to be based on the speed you're going currently at the time you're driving. So instantly adjust that, and you'll see that meter go up and down throughout there as you're driving. If we go down, we'll see the average fuel economy. In this case, now it says 11 for the vehicle. And that's going to be for the life of the vehicle, not necessarily for that trip. And then if we move down, we have average speed as well. And of course, this can be reset as well for your fuel economy. So if, let's say, you've been driving for a little while, now you maybe feel like you drive better, you can reset that and see how you start doing for your fuel economy as well. So average speed, and then we have that quadrant like we would see with the trip, with your miles per hour, your miles per gallon, your distance to empty in the right lower quadrant, and then your miles per gallon over there to the left. And so one of those has a circle on it, so I'm not sure what those might be. I think one of them might be, I'm not sure why there's two different ones there. So you can kind of learn what that might be, and maybe one of them is a trip that was reset. And it looks like maybe the top two are for a trip, and then the bottom one is going to be total probably for the vehicle, for the life of the vehicle. I'm not sure that's what that means there. Now let's go ahead and go left over here, and we're going to move down to driver assist. Now here's where we're getting into some of the settings that you probably are watching the video for. So let's go ahead and move right or hit that OK button, and you're going to see some driver assist. Again, Copilot 360 includes your blind spot monitoring and cross traffic alert. And so you can see those there. You can activate and deactivate it by pressing the OK button to uncheck and check the box. And blind spot monitoring, what that's going to do is it puts a little light in the mirror. So if there's someone in your blind spot, it's going to put a light in that mirror and let you know it's not safe to go in that lane at that time. If we go down to cross traffic alert means when you're backing the vehicle up, if someone's going to cross your path behind you, it's going to alert you with a light in the mirror on that side, message on the dash telling you if they come from the left or the right, in a series of tones that it's not safe to back up. So you can activate or deactivate that setting right there. I don't know why you'd want to deactivate either one of those, the nice safety features that you should always make sure are checked there. And then if you move down, there is a driver alert. Another part of the Copilot 360 is your lane keeping system with driver alert. And so what that's going to do, as long as that's checked, is it's going to alert you. So if I have my hands off the steering wheel for too long, it's going to alert you with the beep, a little chime, as well as a message on the dash that you maybe need to pull off for some coffee or something, or that you're not paying attention to put your hands back on the steering wheel. So great little alert there. Some people don't like that. You can deactivate that by unchecking that box. If we move down, now we're to the other two features of the lane keeping. So if we move right or hit the OK button, it's going to go into a mode and alert intensity. So move right on the mode, and now you have options for either alert or aid or both. Now let me break this down. The alert means that if you start leaving your lane, it's going to vibrate the steering wheel and let you know that you've left your lane. The aid system, what it's going to do is, instead of vibrating the steering wheel as you go over those lines or start to, it's going to use torque vectoring and bump you and keep you and turn the steering wheel to keep you in the line. So it is actually going to turn that steering wheel to keep you in the middle of your lines. Now it does need to be able to see those lines, but you can have that. And then the alert and aid, it's supposed to do both. I've never had that. I have my vehicle on alert and aid, and it's never vibrated my steering wheel. It's always just kind of bumped me back in. So I'm not sure why they break that down separately, because that's what I've found on my vehicle. Now let's go back left and go down to the alert intensity, and again hit OK or move to the right, and you have high, normal, or low intensity. So if you want to make sure it's very sensitive and maybe even a little early, you might hit that high. If you want to kind of a low intensity and I don't want it to vibrate that steering wheel even when I get real close to those lines, maybe on a low intensity, then you can have it that way as well. Now we'll go back left twice because we need to go back to the driver assist. Now we've covered all the lane keeping. We're going to go down to pre-collision assist. Another feature is part of the Copilot 360. So if we move right or hit the OK, you're going to see the alert sensitivity. Now let me talk about pre-collision assist. What that means is you have the alert system. So it's a forward collision warning. So if you're coming up behind someone, or if there's someone stopped ahead of you or turning or going really slow and you're driving too fast and you're not hitting your brake, it's going to alert you with a series of lights on the dash and tones that you need to stop And so then if it doesn't, you'll see down there the active braking. That's going to actually brake your vehicle if you don't hit your brakes. So if you don't want it to do that for you, you would uncheck that. I would probably always leave it checked. It's a great safety feature. And then you have the alert sensitivity. If you move right or hit the OK button, that gives you a high, normal, or low sensitivity for being alerted if that person's going a little slower than you. So if you notice it's doing it maybe a little bit too quick, maybe they're turning slowly and you know they're going to get out of your way in time, maybe you want to change that to low. So it's really up to your preference there. We're going to go back left and go completely back to the driver assist. We'll go down to the tire pressure. And if we move right or hit the OK button, you're going to see the tire pressure on all 4 of your tires around the vehicle. So that's pretty self-explanatory. That's really the only thing on the tire pressure, but it allows you to be able to see the tire pressure on all your tires right there. Move back to driver assist, and we're back to the top of the blind spot. So let's go left again and go back to the settings. Now we're going to go down and hit either the OK or the right arrows and go to the different settings. We have 3 different set of settings sections here. We have vehicle, which is a lot of the features are going to be under that. You have the My Key and the display. We'll talk about My Key and display in just a second. Let's move right to the vehicle, and you have auto engine off. Now this is where basically what it does is it'll shut the vehicle off. So if you're stopped, you have it in drive, and the vehicle's running, and for over so long, it'll actually warn you and say, we're going to shut the vehicle off to conserve on fuel because you're not moving. So if you don't like that, you can uncheck that box. Now you will have to uncheck that every time you start the vehicle, a lot like your auto start stop technology, but that's where you would uncheck that if you know you're going to be sitting for a long period of time, maybe at a soccer game or a practice or something, and you want to be in air conditioning, maybe listen to the radio, then you would uncheck that if you would like to do that. If you go down, you have your chimes. So if we move right, it just has that checked for the different chimes. Now I'm not sure what the information is. I think what that means, the information is that when your chime goes off, then it actually puts on the screen what the chime is about. So if you don't want the information of the chime, then you can uncheck that box. So that's why from the factory it is checked that way. So then we go down, go back to vehicle and go down to lighting, and again hit that OK button. Now auto high beam is another feature as part of the Copilot 360, so your vehicle may not have that if it doesn't have the Copilot 360, but the auto high beams, you can activate and deactivate that feature by unchecking that box and checking it. And what auto high beam is, a lot like your automatic headlights, but for your high beams. So if it's really dark outside, it'll turn those high beams on. Someone approaches you, or if you're in the city lights, it's going to automatically turn them off. So if that's something you don't like, you can uncheck that feature. Auto lamp. This vehicle does have your auto headlamp. In fact, about every vehicle in the Ford lineup has the auto headlamp. That means if you have an auto setting for your headlights, it'll automatically turn those headlights on when it gets dark and turn them off when it gets light. If you move right, you can actually change the delay for that. So once it gets dark enough, it's 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 120 seconds. Maybe you want to turn that off altogether. Not sure why you turn it off. I think off would mean that as soon as it turns dark enough, it just instantly turns them on. It doesn't have a delay of 20 seconds. That would be maybe when you start the vehicle, and if it's dark right away, it would have a 20-second delay before turning those headlights on. So that might be a feature why you'd want to take it to off, so it does it instantly for you. Now let's go back left, and you have daytime running lights. Again, a feature that you may or may not have on your vehicle. If you want those daytime running lights on, make sure that's checked. If you don't want that on, you know that you'll just when your headlights are on, then you can go ahead and uncheck that. And that's all for lighting. So move back, and we'll go down to locks. Again, if we hit the OK or go right, you're going to see a couple features there for this particular vehicle. There may be more for your vehicle or less. There are a couple other I'm going to talk about on top of these that I know about for a fact that I see in the dual screen, but may be available on your vehicle as well. First one to talk about is the auto unlock. What that means is when you come to a complete stop, you park the vehicle, you turn the vehicle off, it's going to automatically unlock the doors. So some people don't like that, especially if they're in a parking lot and they want to sit there for a little bit. They don't want the vehicle to automatically unlock, so some people can open their doors. You would uncheck that box for that feature. And then on this one also does have a remote unlock. And if you move it to the right, you're going to see. Now what that means is for your remote. So when you hit that unlock button once, what's it going to do? Is it going to open all the doors or the driver's door? So it doesn't mean if you have it on driver's door that you're not going to be able to unlock the other doors. You would just have to hit your remote a second time to unlock the rest of the doors. So if you want to make sure that, hey, I don't want the other doors opening, especially on the other side where I can't get to, because if I unlock it and it unlocks all the doors, somebody can sneak in on me, then you would want to leave that on your driver's door only. So that's what the difference between all doors and driver's door there would be. Now going back to the locks, there are a couple others that I've seen in other vehicles as well, even on the 2.3-inch screen, and one of them is called a mislock. So your vehicle may have that button where you can uncheck and check that. And what mislock means is maybe if you don't shut the door completely and you lock the vehicle with your remote, it's going to honk the horns twice, and it will not turn the flashers on, because usually when you lock your vehicle, the amber lights will flash and let you know the vehicle was locked. So especially from a distance that you can't hear it, then you know that it's locked. So it would not do that, so then it would alert you that, hey, my vehicle's not locked properly, so it's called a mislock. So if you don't want that feature on, you can uncheck that. And then there's also a switches inhibitor. And what that means is if you get out of the vehicle, use your remote, you lock the vehicle up, then they can't use the switches at all with the vehicle lock like that until you use the remote to unlock the vehicle or start the vehicle. And that just allows it to where maybe if you have the windows rolled down or somebody breaks the glass, they're not going to be able to unlock the vehicle to get into the vehicle. So really, especially this one where there's nothing to pull up, they won't be, even with the windows rolled down, they would have to crawl in the windows to get into the vehicle, and they still wouldn't be able to unlock it. They'd have to crawl back out because these switches would be inhibited. So you can uncheck and check that with that. So if your vehicle has that, you'll know what that means as well. Now let's go back left, and we have oil life reset. So if you get your oil changed, your service department, your Ford dealer would do this for you. But if you do your own oil changes, you would want to move right there and press and hold that button to reset the remaining oil life. Now you can also go in here to kind of see how your oil life is doing through periodically as well, if you want to know whether or not you know it's time for that oil change. But it will give you the alerts when you need an oil change on the vehicle as well. And then go down to remote start. Now if we move right, now some vehicles will have a remote start. You'll notice this vehicle on the remote does not have a remote start switch, but this vehicle still can be a remote starter because the Ford Pass Connect is starting to become more common on almost all your vehicles for 2019. So with the Ford Pass Connect, you can remote start your vehicle using the Ford Pass app. So you know, if you want more information on that, definitely check that out. Maybe I'll do a separate video on the Ford Pass Connect with my own vehicle with the app. But it's a great way to remote start your vehicle from anywhere using the app. And so when you do, this tells you what's going to happen when you remote start the vehicle with your climate. So if you move right, you can either have it set on auto or your last setting. And the reason that would be a difference is an auto setting is automatically going to turn the defrost on, and if you have heated seats, turn your heated seats on. So what's great about that, this particular vehicle, you notice in the first setting did not have the steering wheel and the seats, and that's because it does not have heated seats. But what it would do is then turn the defrost on. If you want it in the last setting, the benefit of that would be maybe during the summertime, it's really hot outside, and you know you had the air conditioning on when you got out of the vehicle, you can remote start the vehicle and it would go to your climate controls from the last time that you got out of the vehicle. So that's what the benefit of that right there. Now, if you have a heated seat, heated steering wheel on your vehicle with this screen, more than likely if you have a heated steering wheel, you're gonna have the touch screen. But if you don't, you would also see a setting for that in here where then you could pick either your seats or your steering wheel or both with that as well. And then if you go down to duration and move right, that tells how long your vehicle will run when you remote start it, whether it be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or 15, and then it'll shut it off. And that's so you don't keep your vehicle running, and definitely if you don't want to. You can cycle through twice with that, but this is the duration for each of those cycles. After a second time, then it will not let you remote start the vehicle again until you come in and do it manually in the vehicle and hitting that remote start, or hitting the start, I should say. Okay, and then go back, you do have the system. So whether or not you want to have the remote start system activated or not, you would have to have that activated or checked to be able to have the remote start functionality. Go left and we'll go down to wipers, or I'm sorry, to windows, and we move right, and that's remote open. Now you can remote open these windows with your keyless entry from the outside. So what you do is you press the unlock and then press and hold it, they unlock, and they're going to go down automatically. So I'll show you a clip where I did this with a vehicle like this one, and so you can see how that works. So if you don't want that available, because maybe if you have that key in your pocket, you tend to do that and press that often. I've had actually people do that on one of my vehicles where it rolled the windows and I came out and they were rolled down. I didn't know what happened. I thought there was something wrong with the vehicle. This is why. So if you don't want that to happen to you, uncheck that box right there into the Windows section. And if we go down to wipers and go right, you're going to see a couple different functions. This vehicle happens to have the rain sensing wipers as well as the rear wiper. Now if your vehicle doesn't have a rear wiper or a rain sensing, then you won't have those as availability. But you almost every vehicle will have the courtesy wipe. And what courtesy wipe allows you to do is if you turn the wipers on and then you turn them off, it's going to go ahead and do that, and then it'll do one wipe again, and to just kind of anything else that might have dribbled down. So that's how that's going to work, and that usually works when you use your wiper or your washer fluid. So when you have your washer fluid, you turn that on. Now that's unchecked, so that's maybe why it didn't wipe again, but that will help get any last things off your windshield. Now rain sensing wipers, if you want that activated or deactivated there, what that's going to do is if you're in the intermittent settings here and it starts to rain, it's going to automatically turn the wipers on. So it's a great feature. Also, it's going to speed the wipers up the faster it rains as well. So if that's a feature you don't like to have going, you want to do it manually yourself, then you would uncheck that box there. And then the reverse wiper. Now, usually you have to turn those on manually for yourself, so I'm not sure why that is there, to be honest. I think that maybe that works a lot in the same lines with your rain sensing wiper, that if it's free of anything back there, it will turn that wiper on and off. And it may be too because the switch is right here, and for some people they might accidentally bump that and turn it on, and so that might be so that they don't accidentally bump that too. So I'll have to do a little more research on that, but I didn't figure that one out. So anyway, now we're back up to the top on that. So let's go left again, and we'll go down to My Key. Now, every vehicle is going to have two keys, two keyless entry keys. They're both going to start out as admin. So if we move right and we look at the key info and we move right again, you're going to see that this vehicle has two admin keys and no My Key. Now, a My Key is a great feature. My Key allows you to be able to set one key as a My Key, and that you give that to your kids when they're driving your vehicle, and there's some great functionalities behind that. One of the things is that the speed limit the vehicle cannot go over 65 miles an hour. It inhibits that, so they can't speed on the highway in the vehicle and drive a little bit safer. Also, if they don't have their seatbelt on, the radio will not work with a My Key key unless you put the seatbelt on. So it makes them put their seatbelt on, or else they won't want to listen to radio. We know kids love listening to their music. Also, it does limit how high the volume can go with the My Key as well. So great ways to really protect your kids. Set one of the keys up as a My Key, and to do that, we'll go back. You go to create My Key. If you press your go, then it just tells you to hold the OK button, and that would program that key as the My Key. So that's how you would set that up, and you can always, I believe, revert that back if you have the admin key as well, to be able to do that. So, and we'll go back and we'll go down to display. So if we move right, you're going to see your units, and that would be miles per gallon, or your miles or your gallon. Do you want it on miles per hour, or do you want it on kilometers per liter, or liters per 100 kilometers? So you can adjust that down there as well. And then go left, we'll go down to temperature. Same way here, it's your Fahrenheit or your Celsius, so you can adjust that for those as well. And then go down to tire pressure, and that's where you can see, do you want PSI, do you want KPA, do you want bar? You can adjust that for your different settings for your, maybe if you're in Canada or something, or maybe you're from another country and you'd rather see those, you can adjust that and change those. And then if you move down, there's your language. English, Spanish, and French are the three languages that are available in your Ford vehicles, at least for America. So if maybe you're in Europe, you may have other availabilities, but in America you have those three as an option, because we do a lot of these, especially Edges, are sold to Canada, and we know in Canada sometimes they will speak French, and so having that availability to switch that and have everything read to the language that you're used to there. And then if we move back, we're back up to the top. So let's go left again, and we've gone through display on the settings, and which is all of them. And if we go left again, we're back to the top to the trip. So we've gone through everything in here. So hopefully this video was very informative for you. That was my goal and intent here. If you have any questions, don't forget to reach out to us. We can help you out with some of these settings. And sometimes, you know, your salespeople, I know when you're there at the dealership a long time, and sometimes you don't have a tendency to be able to go through this. So hopefully this video really helps you out. That's why it will be on our website as well as on our YouTube channel, so you can check that out under the informational playlist there on our YouTube channel. So definitely refer to that. If you have any questions, again, don't forget, you can always reach out to us here at McArthur. So hopefully that video really helped you out, and if you're watching this video on YouTube, I have a special offer for you. Go ahead and hit that red subscribe button down below. You can get subscribed to our YouTube channel where you're going to see some great walk around videos. We like to call it our complete guide because we go over all the standard as well as optional equipment, including the different packages, what's included in all those packages. And on our YouTube channel, in the description of each one of those videos, you're going to see the price for all those as well. So again, very thorough videos. Sometimes they are a little long, but if you're looking for information on it, you're going to see that is going to be a complete guide for you. A lot of people love those videos, so definitely look at those. We put all of our videos in playlists, so definitely check that out if it's the first time subscribing to our channel. Also hit that notification bell. That way you can get notified the next time we have another video uploaded to our YouTube channel with some great content there. So definitely want to hit that notification bell down there as well. Also, don't forget, smash that like button and let other people know it's a great video. I'd really appreciate it. It helps out this video as well as our channel. And it also lets people know it's a great video they need to watch. So I'd really appreciate that. Go ahead and smash that like button. Also, put any comments you might have down below. If I missed something, or if I'm incorrect, or you know the answer to that, I think there was one thing there that I wasn't sure of, put that down in the comments. Love getting that feedback, and I want to make these the most accurate videos I can. So if I missed something, or if I could do better, I definitely want to know that. So read all those comments, so definitely leave those down below. If you haven't yet, go ahead and follow me on YouTube or Twitter. I'm at Tim Bartz. You can definitely check me out there, and I always retweet all of our videos when they go live onto my Twitter account. So if you don't want to have that notification bell going, you can always follow me on Twitter, and I'll let you know that if you go ahead and hit your notifications for my YouTube channel or my Twitter page as well there. So hopefully you really enjoyed this video. Again, check out our website, McArthur.com. There you can find all of our different video inventory for all of our different vehicles. You can see our video library there with all those videos there as well under the new inventory. Definitely check those videos out there. And then all of our videos are real nice and easy. It's an easy way to buy a vehicle when you come to our website. So you can see search inventory. You can appraise your vehicle right there. You can apply for credit. Easy to be able to function through that website. And you can always call or send us a text message at 785-378-5031 or toll free 1-800-874-6316. So I hope you enjoyed this video on the 4.2-inch productivity screen for most of your Ford vehicles.